to Sip and Talk Business on Fashion, Beauty, and Fit. I am your host, DJLIVES4LUV, and today I'm here with the lovely Miss Touched by Tay, artist and my creative director.
Hey, Boo.
How you doing?
In this thing.
All right, so we're going to dive straight into it. The first question I have for you is, how long have you been doing art, and what actually inspired you to go into doing art?
Okay, y'all understand the answers. All right, so art on what level? Jewelry or the paintings?
In general, just artistic.
The artistic vibe for sure has been popping real hard for probably about 4 or 5 years now. The paintings by hers truly, DJ Lives for Love. Hurricane Harvey came around and she pretty much, I was painting earrings and she pretty much kept coming to me, threatening my life. You were threatening my life over and over and over about, paint. And one day I remember you showing up to my house with paintbrushes, canvases, and paint. And that's been what it's been up since it's been up since then. So 4 or 5 years? 4 or 5 years. The paintings have been rolling for a tough 3 now.
Okay. So outside of you doing art, you were also doing nails, custom jewelry, copper jewelry, and things like that. What's next from Touched by Tay? The world would like to know what's next from Touched by Tay. What artistic ventures do we have coming outside of, I know you just finished the nail certification. You've been dipping and dabbling into, being artistic on the hands. You've been being artistic with the coppers and the jewelry and the painting.
I don't know. Whatever comes to mind, whatever the download I get is, I don't want to go spiritual on everybody and go left, but whatever the download I receive is, I do ask for insight. Mm-hmm. My team members definitely do put some insight in towards the things that I do, so I'm thankful for y'all. It's not me just going hand and foot and put money into some stuff and just doing some stuff. Y'all a bit and said something. It just take a while for me to implement things, but they'll put an idea into my head like a year ago, something you said a year ago. It took a year, but it's showing up now. So I'm not sure what's
So I'm happy
next.
You said that. So what's next for Touched by Tay? Touched by Tay loves to paint custom apparel.
Oh!
Touched by Tay.
Touched by Tay already doing it.
Touched by Tay loves to paint custom apparel. Because Touched by Tay loves to paint custom skates. Now, her skates journey has been very, very interesting. The apparel piece, she did a whole lion jacket. A lion jacket. Google it. Touched by Tay paint. Touched by Tay lion. It'll come up. It's somewhere on Pinterest. So, I know it'll come up.
For sure. It's somewhere in Pinterest.
I know it'll come up. So let's talk about that because your marketing 101 business of Touched by Tay is where we're going to hit, particularly from fashion shows. You've done live paintings across multiple different industries. Let's talk about that. So the reason why I brought up the fashion piece is because you've been doing a lot of fashion shows here lately. And I've never seen art go down a runway up until you started this at the Chance for Change Community Fashion Show a couple of years ago. And you've been doing them ever since. So my question to you is, from a marketing standpoint, from a business standpoint, and moving from art across multiple industries, what inspired you to just jump into doing live paintings and fashion shows and things like that, and sending your different pieces down the runway?
Well, I was taught to think outside the box. Okay, so with the thinking outside the box, my thing is making sure that if I'm gonna do something, do it well, but I don't want to have to compete so hard. So I don't want to have to work so hard to get my stamp into the industry. When I stepped back from everything and I thought about what was going on, I actually love fashion, so I'm always in it anyways. And the one aspect that was always missing on every level at every show I was doing was art. Nobody was sending custom jewelry. Nobody was sending art. Nobody was thinking like on an artistic level like that, period. So when I presented it to Hope, when I Hope Watkins, if y'all don't know, that's Chance for Change director, the head of Young Sir, and your brand and print. Lord, I'm trying to get all the business names out. When I ran it by her and I told her to, trust my creative direction with it and just let me put some art on the runway, she never turned it down. And ever since, if I'm gonna get on the runway, it's that one. Like,
and you start the show every year.
I'll be there on time. I'll be there on time. I try to get third in the lineup. 3 is my number, so I'm trying to get number 3 or 4 in the lineup. I want to make sure that booties are in seats and they can physically see me. I want to talk to people. I want to motivate people. And shoot, I want to get ready for the show and get some of the momentum of the show. So that's pretty much my logic.
Okay, so with your art pieces that you've done down the runway, I've actually modeled for you for one of your shows to where we did the copper pieces for an event.
We did
it was the copper. You did all copper. You did the copper
trap art.
You did the bustier.
Yeah. Trap art. I had to think about it.
So if you've never worn a copper bra, this would be, but you're gonna have to have some Spanx or something under it. She makes the copper bras. They're made to fit. Now I have seen the copper, what's them things babies be walking around, them copper canes. I don't know how many pimp daddies you got running around the city of Houston with these copper canes on them with them crystals,
big old crystals
on the top of them. But yeah, so we've been seeing a lot of your artistic creativity floating around the city. Now I want to know, when are we going to start traveling with the pieces?
Doing that already currently. We just a little late to the show. If we waiting on me to post pictures, we're gonna wait on the pictures forever. I suck at social networking and I need to get better. But during my marketing career, I learned that I don't have to do that. Like I done had to do some different things. I have to be really smart about how I get the point across, but I don't have to post every picture on Facebook, and I don't have to post every picture on Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat or what is the other shit that's rolling right now, the dancing stuff, TikTok. Like, I don't have to do all that. I should. I'm not gonna say that I don't have to. I should. And I believe that it will help take my business to the next level. But my business is going to grow as fast as it needs to grow. And I only have 2 hands is my logic. So I don't want to overwhelm myself and overwork myself. And with a lot of creatives that I have met that do custom jewelry, the one thing that made them quit was overworking themselves and being overwhelmed. And I don't want to do that. Like, this is my passion. So I want to stay in the game. And if that takes me, not saying backseat myself, which I'm not, I'm definitely not doing that. But if it takes me having to not produce so many pieces, which y'all don't understand, you don't have to produce so many pieces to get your point across. You're going to understand not having 1,000 pieces of that out there is why you're going to get paid. And that's why I get paid. It is. So I just want to be able to stay in the game and stay relevant, stay creating, and stay touching people. Real life.
Okay, so we're going to hit a nerve. I'm going to strike a nerve with you.
What's the nerve?
Time, and time. So, with time, with you, and because you spoke on it, and in pricing your pieces, and how much time you actually put into them, how are you ensuring that the pricing that you're putting out equals the value of your name, your time, and the piece itself?
How am I making sure? Good question. How am I making sure?
And I'm only saying this because I know you, and I'm looking at how much time it takes you to create a piece, how much thought you put behind creating pieces, how you're delivering your pieces, and the name itself, Touch by Tay.
How I made sure I learned this lesson. I learned this lesson the hard way a few years ago. Okay, a few years ago, I received this assignment. I received my first wholesale assignment, and when I received that wholesale assignment, the order was, I think it was like 50 pairs of earrings, and they were all hand painted earrings, and I had to burn my name into the back of all these earrings. And it just all these different things went in, and I was asked over and I remember being asked 3 to 5 specific times if I was sure that the price that I quoted was the price, if it was the price. And I remember saying, yes, it was. And I remember today that the number that I ran was like $250.
It was.
And it was for 50 pairs of earrings. It was for 50 pairs of hand-painted earrings. And I'm talking about a few days in when I started realizing how much time it was taking me and how much work I was putting in, this, that, and the third. Fast forward, went up some time. I got to it took me a month to complete this order, and how do I make sure is I think about that every single time. I think about that. I know that it take almost it take quite a few. It take about 10 pairs of my earrings to get to $250 and not 50 pairs. And it just, that was the lesson that I learned. I had to physically go through and accept and feel that I was super confident that I just had it all under control, when in all actuality I should have been running a price tag of like $1,200.
And you didn't have it in control.
I didn't have it under control.
We're going to go for a break and we'll be right back after this.
Man, that was how I learned. That was it. That.
We all experience difficult times in life, and it's during these times when we need the most support that we hide ourselves from the rest of the world. Have you been missing in action? I'm here to tell you that you don't have to go it alone. MIA is a grief support group that helps remind us that we're all great, no matter the circumstances we find ourselves in. You don't have to go through life alone. We're here for you because we are you.
Are you a busy professional or a stressed out parent that needs a break? Or maybe you're retired and just don't have the desire to get out of the house every day. And this is why you need Mia Savvy Courier Service. No errand is too big or too small, whether it's picking up dry cleaning or groceries. Mia Savvy Courier Service is the one to call. For more information, visit them online at www.miasavvycourierservices.com or give us a call at 832-533-7565. And trust me, after one experience, you'll be singing their praises.
And we're back with Sip and Talk Business on Fashion, Beauty, and Fit. I'm your host, DJ Lives for Love, and we have the lovely Miss Teshbite Tay here. I just asked Tay a stunning question. How do you price your paintings, your art, really everything that you do, based off of your time, your name, and the product that you're producing itself?
Take out the friendship aspect. And you have to understand what my brand, what I had to understand that what I was doing was not something that was already out. So you can't walk into Target and you can't walk into Walmart and Walgreens and you can't go and get it. And I had to understand how important that was. And then when I understood how important that was, I had to understand how important I was because I'm the creator.
Right.
And then once I got that part under control, I had to, what's the bottom line? What's the number that what's the number that I'm gonna pay myself? It ain't even got anything to do with what you feel I'm worth. Or what do I feel that I'm worth?
Right.
I cried at a job about how much they underpaid me. So when I got to the business aspect of it for myself, I had to price myself in a point to where I didn't feel like I was cheating somebody, which I shouldn't worry about that part. But me, with the type of person that I am worried about something like that. I didn't want to outprice myself, and I wanted everything to be affordable. So I had to pay myself what I felt was worth. So I had to set my own bottom line, and it was very hard to do. Very hard.
How long do you think it took you to get to that point?
It took at least, and in the process, I was still doing pop-up shops, and I was still bumping my head, and I was learning. It took me almost a year to get my price no lies. I'm gonna say now confidently, within the last 5 months, I finally just set my prices in a place now where I'm not even gonna argue with you, and that's my energy. I'm not even gonna argue with you. This is the dollar amount, and if you ain't gonna pay it, okay, go find it.
So roughly about 3.5 years.
3.5 years. It took me 3.5 years, because you have to understand, I don't just do hand painted earrings. I do copper wrap jewelry, and I paint, and I make bracelets, and I teach, and I motivational speak. I do brand management. I'm a creative director, and I had to figure out how to price point all this different stuff. It took 3.5 years.
Okay, so I got a question for you now. Now get down to the new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing nails.
Yes.
So artistically, your nail designs and things like that are of course different.
Yes.
A lot of things are done. I mean, you just like to do just art all over the nails and stuff like that, which one thing I definitely agree and I like, because it sets you apart from your competition.
Yes.
Not every nail is going to be the same. Not every nail is going to match whatever based off of the designs and stuff like that you're putting in. So when looking at an artist from a nail technician standpoint, how are you pricing those? Is it based off of the designs? Because I know that starts with spreading from word of mouth, because a lot of people are like, okay, they're new in the industry, they're coming out, I want to charge this, or, we're going to start with the low minimum. What advice do you have to give for upcoming nail technicians, or those in the industry that are actually starting, to where they set their prices bottom line and then they try to change them as they go up?
I first would say definitely practice. First off, practice and get to know your craft. It's always going to be a work in progress. When you're when you get in a confident place, figure out not saying who your competition is, because it's not competition. It's enough hands out here for everybody. Understand? It's enough hands. Figure out, who do you follow? Who were your influencers in the nail game? Look at what their price points are. Look at the different nail techs in your area. Look at what their price points are. Mm-hmm. Go from there. But then when you get to, I do nail art. I actually paint on nails. When you get there, I don't look at other people's craft. And people understand that, when they come to me, they understand that I already paint. So they understand I'm not gimmicking you into, hey, I'm an artist, let me paint on. They already know that I paint for a living. So they know that if they're not just asking for me to do these cute Pinterest nails, and they're asking me for custom gel polish, whatever, hand designs, they know there's a tag coming with it. The tag is based on the same thing it's been based on everything else. I'm not going to sit there and slap I will slap $150 art piece on your nails if you got the money and you got the time. But it's the same basis. Per hour, I know what my minimum is. I run your minimum on it. Or if hey, I have such and such for nails, 9 times out of 10, if you like, I got 200 for nails, I'm gonna just freestyle you and just do whatever I want to your nails anyways. The logic of everybody coming to me, they always want me to do whatever I want. I never really get to look at specific. A picture. Yeah, it never goes like that. It's always all I know is I want my nails to be blue. Okay, baby blue, is it dark, glow in the dark, or do whatever you want. Okay, and I go from there. That's how it works. That's
one of the things that a lot of people are having difficulties with in the industry, across all industries, is pricing. And one thing that I like that she said is that we're observing what your influencers are. So those who you follow, those who you're around, those who who you want to replicate or kind of just follow their footsteps. Look at how they're pricing things. Look at how they're doing things, to be able to kind of say, okay, this is where they are, but this is where I want to be, and set your prices accordingly.
Church finger. Some step in, but when you're trying to replicate, or you're trying to mimic, or you are going after your influencer, on everything I love, your shit better be together. So if your influencer has their branding together, i.e. a logo, i.e. business cards, it could be be these different little things make you stand out, and a lot of people don't think that they are important when they do. It is very important to leave people with something tangible these days. So you need to imprint people, and sometimes your imprint may only be that business card that you leave behind. I leave my personality. People usually remember me all the time off my jewelry, or it's always something that they take behind. But you need to leave people with something tangible. So make sure, again, if you going behind them people, make sure that your stuff is together. You have a logo, you have a business name, your social network. And I'm not saying they got to be jumping, but just make sure it's a few pictures on there. Mine is not always up to date, but there are pictures, and I get tagged a lot. And you can Google me and you can find anything you want. So it's just like make sure that you at least meeting up with what your influencers look is. It doesn't have to be the same, but get as close as you can and move from there, and just move in confidence.
And one of the things I definitely want to say is, do not try to replicate what they're doing. Make it your own. Make it your own. Make whatever you're trying to do compatible to theirs. Make it your own, because the one thing you don't want to get in the gist of or in the midst of is accused of copycatting.
Yes. And
accused of copywriting. Because a lot of people, when they start doing custom pieces and different things like that, they're always copywriting their artwork. Yes. They're copywriting their pieces, and you want to make sure that you don't fall in line with being sued or anything like that from any profits that you've made out, any marketing materials that you put out, because you're not making your own. You're going against the copyright laws. So now I'm doing this differently. I'm giving everybody an opportunity to ask me 2 questions before we wrap it up. So, Touch by Tay, what 2 questions would you like to ask DJ Lives for Love?
Question number 1, why are you still trusting Touch by Tay with the 4 P's of marketing? Why? I want to know. Why?
Okay, so...
And why is it so important? That's a 2-part question but that's only one question. Like, okay. Why do you still trust me, and why are you still, urging that into me? Like, why?
So, Touch by Tay, I've known you for now 4 to 5 years. The reason being is because when I first met you, of course, you were doing the hand-painted jewelry. And in looking at your pieces that you put out, I saw greater potential beyond what you knew you had. That's why I showed up at your house with the paintings, with the canvases.
Y'all don't know why
and
I do
the
so
paintbrushes.
It's her fault. That's why I do so much.
And the paintbrushes. Yes, I did. I purchased gallery canvases, and I purchased the regular canvases, and a whole bunch of paintbrushes and the paints, and I brought all of it to her house and set it on her doorstep and told her to get to painting. Yes, I did. I sure did. And I see a lot more potential in you than you see in yourself. Mm-hmm. And I say that because when you're a struggling artist coming up, and you're struggling because this is what you have a passion for doing, you love it, and you see where you want to be, and you see your end goal, but you don't have the capability of getting to where you want to be, or you only seeing yourself as a jewelry artist. You still ran back into jewelry, but you're now painting beyond what it is that you thought you were going to paint beyond. And I would like to see your paintings on canvases versus on jewelry, because you would go to these teeny tiny objects, to me, when your artwork speaks volume, and it goes beyond. So that's why I push, and I continue to push, because the next thing I want to see is more in location artwork by Touch by Tay. Yeah, because I know you did Trophy Wife's whole branding when she came in. Yes.
I'm actually currently working on it. We working on it, y'all. We working on it. It take time. I only got 2 hands, so
you good. A little bit of time. You asked me a question. Yeah. I gave you an answer. I gave you an answer. I see Touch by Tay beyond, but you see Touch by Tay. Question 2.
Question number 2. Like everything, what is something different that I actually physically could do? That's something I ain't asked nobody. What do you, because I do everything. I do furniture, I do jewelry, I do clothing,
street art.
I do now? Street art.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I can definitely see Touch by Tay as a street artist. And the reason I say that is because you paint, what you have to take into consideration is you do a lot of abstract art. And that's one thing that stands out the most about you is the abstract art that you do. It's on canvases, it's in locations, it's in places like that. But I can definitely see Touch by Tay's wall art as a mural a photographic mural for photographers in the city, to where you're creating these murals, these abstract murals across the city, and they're actually using them as photo locations. Prime example, we have the Insta wall, to where those are just solid walls that they painted in different colors, and people are using them now for Instagram and places to take pictures and stuff like that. When you're looking at abstract art can be put on anything and anywhere. So I definitely see Touch by Tay moving to street art. I definitely see Touch by Tay moving to murals in locations and off locations. In locations and on the streets as well. And I see it being a household name. I really do, because the one thing that you have to understand is, at times when you don't believe in yourself, other people believe in you. Even when you want to give up, other people are not going to let you give up. And I don't even know if you were at a give up point, but I didn't see you at a give up point. I seen you at this is an opportunity to dump some more stuff on Tay, and that was what I did. And I'm going to continue to push stuff on you, because when you see me come to your house with paint buckets and paintbrushes, you know it's time to go. You know it's time to go to the street. So it's just, that's where I see Touch by Tay going. And one of the things I want to say is, look at different ways of creating your art. It's not so much as far as you taking your art and painting it on billboards and buildings and prints and stuff like that. Prime example, off of 59, like you're going towards IAH coming from here. If you look up on the freeways, they actually have abstract art pieces weeded through the. So I was looking at one of them. I know. I was on the Midtown. I was working with Midtown when they actually started that. When they actually started that piece, and they've actually weeded the
all through the gates and stuff over the top of downtown
to be able to move. And those are things that you can look at, not just necessarily as, because Houston technically is an art city, but those are things that you can look at as far as different pieces. So you may want to do get with some apartment complexes and things like that, and
see if I can do something for it. Okay.
So those are different things. These are a lot of different things that you can be creative when it comes to dealing with art.
Okay. And
not just necessarily, graphic art, but abstract art as well. And I know you do both, but I'm just saying, to me, the biggest piece that sells for you is your abstract art, because it's different, it's creative, it stands out more. Anybody can go and just grab a piece of paint, grab a paint and a paintbrush and draw something. But the abstract art is what stands out, because it can go with any and everything because of the color scheme. So those are some things that we're going to take into consideration. With that being said, let the people know how to follow you on social media.
Alrighty, you guys. So you can follow me on all platforms. Touched by Tay, TOUCHED by BY Tay, TAY. That is Touched by Tay on Facebook. It is Touched by Tay on Twitter. It is Touched by Tay on TikTok. It is Touched_by Tay on Instagram. It is touchedbytay.com. And we didn't say nothing about my government name, so we're gonna just leave my government name out of it today. There we go.
I am DJLIVES4LUV, and thank you for tuning in on Sip and Talk Business with Fashion, Beauty, and Fit. I am here with the lovely Miss Touched by Tay. Bye.